Welcome. I'm Devin O'Day, and we've got a great episode for you. As Sumner's Main Street Realtor of the Year, Justin Tucker gives you 3 things to sell your house quicker without a big outlay of funds. We've got 7 things you should never do with disinfectant wipes. We'll visit with Shane Stratton and learn how he used a passion for old houses and a design degree to start a new business on a shoestring. And recording artist Kelly Lang brings back a sentimental project for parents, grandparents, and kids called Lullaby Farm that you will so enjoy. So subscribe, share, leave a review, and join us on socials. This is Main Street Today. Selling a house can make you crazy. Moving can make you crazy. So what can make you not so crazy during both of those things? Hire a great realtor. Justin Tucker, for the 3rd year in a row, is the Sumner County Realtor of the Year at the Main Street Awards. And there's a reason for that. Check out his socials. He and his wife and his entire team have done amazing work for helping you come up with great ideas to sell your home quicker without a lot of stress and without a lot of money. Justin Tucker joins us on Main Street Today.
Hi, Justin.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous.
It's a good day. I'll just say that. My wife's birthday's today.
Have you started panic shopping yet?
I think I'm just going to take her when everything's calmed down. Me and her's going to go on a trip for about 4 days and just get away.
That's a good plan. First of all, congratulations on being a Main Street Award winner for the 3rd year in a row for the top realtor. I think that's just awesome.
Well, I appreciate that.
I'm a big fan of Pinterest and Instagram, and I think there's nothing that shows off real estate better than those 2 formats because the pictures can be right there and people can pin them and see what they love. And you do such a great job of marrying the dream home with the homes that are available and saying, you can either do this to this home or this home is available.
That's a part of our business that has evolved over time. Whenever my wife, Mandy, she taught for 7 or 8 years at Mount Juliet High School. And when we had decided for her to step out of the teaching role and come in to work on the team, that was her primary focus for us initially, was to help us be a little different than everyone else when it comes to social media and marketing. I believe over the last year or so, I think we've done that. As far as the content between her and the team, they've done, I would say, a top-notch job. I'm very proud of them for the work they've done, bringing what people think and dream about to reality of what is out there and available, and trying to bring those 2 things together. I think they've done an impeccable job at that, and I tell them all the time, kudos to you for doing so.
There are a lot of people who have the false sense of security. I have one of those realtor apps. There is a big difference because you have right to the moment the homes that are available. There's nothing more disappointing than falling in love with a home on one of those apps and realizing it's not available anymore. And then you get 8,500 calls from people trying to sell you something as a result of calling one of those numbers.
It becomes very disappointing when they see something online via Zillow or Trulia or Realtor.com, and they get their heart set on going to look at it, and then they give you a call a day or 2 later, or maybe even an hour after they've seen it, and all of a sudden you have to break the news to them it's not available, and it hasn't been available for a week. There is a huge value to have a real estate agent that is on top of the game and is up to date. I talk about this all the time when we do our buyer consultations. There's thousands of realtors out there. You have all the choices you want to make. But when you're making one, you need to really sit down and think about it, because purchasing a home is the biggest investment you're going to make, and you want to be guided in the right direction. You want people you can trust. That's the number one thing, and someone who has your back along the way. Those are the principles that we bring to every single transaction. You know, at the end of the day, we try to make this job as easy, as pain-free as possible. And I think, too, by being voted Sumner County's best 3 years in a row, we're up to almost 500 past clients over the 6-year period I've been in real estate. And it amazes me every year for the Main Street Media Awards when I'll get a text and say, hey, we just voted for you guys. And it may be someone I talked to last week, and it may be someone I talked to or seen 6 months ago. Kudos to them. I appreciate all of our past clients and family and friends and relatives and everybody who votes for us. We're super blessed to have a great sphere around us.
Justin, here's another thing that is important. Do not underestimate how important it is to get the realtor that is in the community you either want to sell from or buy into. You are entrenched in Sumner County like nobody's business. And I know you can sell anywhere, but if someone's going to move to Sumner County or sell a house there, don't ever underestimate the contacts they have in the community where you're selling.
That's right. When I got into this business, at first glance, you always say, I want to spread my wings and go as far as I can go, right? I have learned over the last 4 or 5 years to be a master of your craft in the area you're at. Sumner County, in my opinion, is one of the best counties in Tennessee to live in. We have so many great things. We've got the Square on Gallatin. We've got the Strawberry Festival in Portland. We have the streets of Indian Lake for people to go to and shop. Sumner County has done a fantastic job with staying recent with the times, being able to provide things for the community that they can actually use and enjoy. The parks that we have are second to none. The greenways are awesome. I absolutely love working in my home county, in my hometown of Gallatin. My office is in Hendersonville. We love working everywhere, but it's really special for us when we can work with the hometown. I mean, that's kind of our bread and butter. That's where we stay. If you need to know who do I get a vacuum cleaner fixed at, I can tell you. Anything along the way that our clients need in Sumner County, we can direct them. I love Sumner County, and that's where my business is focused.
But I made the mistake of getting someone that I just happened to know. Said, well, I'll let you sell my house. Well, they live 3 counties away. So guess what? They didn't have contacts in my area. So the house just sat and sat and sat and sat. And finally, she came to me and she said, I just don't have any bites or whatever. So I turned around and got someone in my neighborhood who I saw a lot of signs from them. And lo and behold, it sold in 2 days. Justin, I want to encourage people that having someone who knows your neighborhood, you probably got people in your pocket right now, and you know that they are looking for a house in Sumner County.
We have a whole buyer pipeline of people who we're working with currently. One of my favorite things to do is what I call matchmaking in our business, and I don't know if a lot of people know what that even means, but I have a lot of people that this has happened over the last 4 to 5 years that say, hey, if our perfect home comes available, we're going to sell. So when that happens, we need you to be able to move fast on it. I'm like, perfect. I'm ready for you. I sit down with them, create a criteria, say, what is your perfect situation? What does that look like for you? We start to make our little roadmap to the finish line here. When I see something or something comes across that clicks and says, hey, this is perfect for Mrs. Smith, I call Miss Smith and say, this is coming up. We need to go look. And a lot of the times, Mrs. Smith's existing home, we probably have a buyer in the waiting looking for exactly what Miss Smith has. So we merge all of those into one deal there where we can close it simultaneous, and Miss Smith is able to move on. A buyer we've also been working with buys Miss Smith's house, and then Miss Smith's happy forever. I love matchmaking. That's what I call it. That is something that I thoroughly enjoy doing.
What is the most sellable price range right now for homes in Sumner County?
The most sellable price range right now, what we're seeing the best is $350 to $400 and lower. Now, there's a lot of factors that go in. If it's been taken care of, it's clean, well kept, those houses are moving. $350, $400, moving like hotcakes. When you get up to the $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 range, obviously your buyer pool goes down. But what I am going to say is the inventory, not only in Sumner County, but in Tennessee, is super, super low. We don't have enough housing. So the market is still great. I actually have a client, and I'm going to use this as an example. We've got a client that bought a house 6 months ago, did a few little upgrades. We had a little appraisal on it, see kind of what the value is, and they already have about $50,000 in equity, and they've invested about $16,000 in upgrades. So I'm telling you, if real estate is where to invest your money, interest rates are super low. $350 to $400 and down are moving. I mean, quick, with the right marketing, the right photography, the right plan, they will move.
Okay, let's talk upgrades, because I want to send everybody to Justin Tucker Realty's Instagram and to the Pinterest page, because you've got a lot of great ideas. Let's say we want to upgrade to sell. What are 2-3 things that they could do right off the bat and freshen everything up? It's going to make a difference for the walkthrough when people take a look at your house.
Fixtures in the house, number one. Try to be current on the fixtures. Right now, the brushed nickel and the bronze, that's stuff what people's wanting to see. But right now, brass is not what people are looking for. So I would say fixtures, ceiling fans, carpet, and paint. So if you have bedrooms that have, little stains and stuff, carpet's relatively inexpensive to do, pretty easy to get installed, patch all your holes, you need to declutter. And the goal is to move. So when I meet with a seller, I say, hey, our goal is to move. So we're going to have to pack some of this stuff up anyway. Let's go ahead and get a bunch of this stuff down off the walls. Let's get it freshened up and painted. We have a lot of complimentary services when you list with us that we kind of help with that. It's part of our package to help people sell their house. So landscaping, pressure washing, carpet, paint, and light fixtures would be my top 5 things.
It's amazing how the smell of fresh paint will make a place that is old seem like it's new and at least cared for. It's just amazing what that does. Just a little change here and there, and that's not the most expensive changes by any means. Paint is not that expensive, comparatively speaking, and especially if you can do it yourself. Even if you have some pretty pots with some fresh flowers, it's amazing the difference that makes when you walk into a home, isn't it?
It is. So you want your home to be screaming from the street, come on in. That's the goal. We want it to be as inviting as possible.
Where can we have people get in touch with you, and where can they find you on social media?
We have Facebook, we have Instagram, the JustinTuckerTeam.com. That's our website. It'll take you straight to our own platform where you can search homes without being on Zillow. The most up-to-date information on thejustintuckerteam.com. And if you need me directly, my number, 615-906-8458. I'd love to help anyone who needs help or advice.
And if you have a Pinterest page and you're getting ready to sell or to buy, I encourage you to follow the Justin Tucker Pinterest page, because there's tons of great ideas of things that you can do. I mean, I'm not even selling my house, and I found tons of ideas. I'm going to redo my house just based on your Pinterest page.
I'm glad that you've been able to use it.
It's awesome. So, well, thank you so much, Justin, for your time. You have a fabulous weekend and a great day, and happy birthday to that sweet wife of yours.
Hey, thank you so much. Have a great day.
So, you are using an antibacterial wipe. You're really clean, right? Well, here are a few mistakes a lot of people make thinking they're being safe with those wipes. First, using them on more than one surface. Did you know that just spreads germs from one surface to another? So, just because it has that solution doesn't mean that you can go from the toilet to a doorknob. With the same wipe? No. Read the label. Did you know that's what tells you how long a surface needs to be wet with antibacterial solution to be sanitized? 5 minutes at least. And never ever flush a wipe. It clogs pipes, sewer systems. It does not break down in your septic tank. And don't use those antibacterial wipes on your phone or device screens. The back of the phone? Okay. But the screen has a protective coating that keeps down fingerprints, and those wipes destroy that coating. Now, if you don't close the container and the wipes get dry, just dampening them with water does nothing. The liquid is mostly alcohol, so a dried wipe is just a rag. Wipes damage wood and they don't clean, so wood needs a wood product. And dirty surfaces need good old soap and water before a wipe. And lastly, don't use a wipe on baby toys or pet bowls. Some of the chemicals used for antibacterial products are dangerous for babies and pets, so good old hot soapy water does the trick. Antibacterial wipes are convenient and they do cut down on bacteria, but they aren't a one-stop shop solution. I don't know about you, but after these tips from habitsandroutines.com, I had no idea I was using wipes all wrong. Starting a new business can be terrifying and expensive. But how about someone who used a small nest egg and his experience learned from his grandfather and a passion for art and design, all combined together to form Stratton Exteriors? I love stories about Middle Tennessee companies that are totally grassroots and fueled by joy. We began by asking Shane Stratton where his dream began.
I am from Sturgis, Kentucky. It's a very hard-working community. It's coal mines, it's farming, and it's construction, and it's odd jobs that get people by there. You know, it's a very hard-working community, and that's where I grew up. My grandfather owned rental properties, and so he would fix those up. And whenever I was a child, 9, 10, 11, I do remember assisting him in doing odd jobs, you know, for him. We also had this fairgrounds that I used to work at during the summers. That would also be an odd job of painting and doing small repairs to horse stables and decks. Really, whenever I was growing up, I wanted to be an artist. So I initially went to school to become an artist and quickly realized that I could not make a living doing that. So I moved forward with a marketing communication degree, but always had a love for design in any way.
I love that it comes from an artistic aspect, what you do.
Oh, yes, ma'am, and I absolutely love it. So after Murray State, I moved to Louisville to go to an interior design school, Sullivan's College, and I received a 2-year associate's degree doing that, and absolutely loved it whenever I got out of college.
So now you've taken your hands-on blue-collar craftsman skill that you learned by watching and doing. Now you've studied design and you've put them together. You moved to Nashville when?
I moved to Nashville about 15 years ago, and I was working for a radio station selling media advertising. And one of my clients was a remodeling company. So I ended up working with them and realized that I knew I could do it better. So I ended up starting Stratton Exteriors at that point, 14 and a half years ago.
Starting a new business, how scary was that?
Oh, it was incredibly scary. You know, I had $3,200 in my bank account. My parents thought I was crazy, and I had nothing else to fall back on. Been through the advertising and sales and marketing business path, corporate path, and knew that was not for me anymore.
You can use those skills to help market your own company now.
Yes, ma'am. We not only have a new website, a new brand that we're doing along with our logo, but we're really heavy into social media. Yes, we have a nice website, and it gives you a lot of information about us as a company. However, we use social media such as Instagram and Facebook, Pinterest, House, in order to give our prospective clients a visual of not only the quality of work we do, but the design and different aspects of work that we do.
You're a Nashville company now, been in business since 2006, but you have this look like you've been working with these historic Nashville buildings for years and years and years and years. Let's talk about East Nashville and what you've been doing there.
We love historic buildings, historic homes, structures. I owned my first home whenever I was around 27, and it was an older home in Evansville, Indiana. It was about 3 blocks away from University of Evansville. I ended up remodeling it myself, a new kitchen, a new basement space with a small bathroom downstairs and an office. Did the outside columns myself, re-sided the home myself, and painted it. So that was my first true project, and I've had several homes since then that I've always enjoyed doing the work. You know, I would always have different paint colors than my friends, and you would just have a different look, even whenever I was younger, right? Nowadays, being a licensed general contractor working on older homes, in which I've had several, we know what to look for. I have the experience and the history and a proven track record of working on these types of homes. We want to retain the integrity of the structure. We want the design to look like it was built back in the 20s or the early 1900s. And also the colors of the property are huge when choosing a color, because that really is either going to be a bold home, a neutral home, or actually have some type of texture and different looks about it with using different materials. So those are some of the things that we use in order to retain the integrity of older homes, especially in East Nashville.
Pretty much one-stop shop, and if you want an artistic view to what you do, it's not just a construction project for you, it's a creation. People can call you for exterior or interior, correct?
Yes, ma'am. And we also build homes, custom homes. We do large additions with the garage apartment.
Instagram is full of amazing pictures of Shane's work. You can follow them at Stratton Exteriors. Your Pinterest page is outrageous and full of ideas you can pin to boards like crazy. And the website is StrattonExteriors.com. I'm Devin O'Day. A lot of activities have been limited for families, and we might not feel safe just yet to throw caution to the wind and head to a theme park. But activities at home with your children will always yield priceless results. The greatest currency you ever spend on your kids or your grandchildren is time. With home offices and home schools, we might just need a little creative help to entertain children who get bored every 20 seconds. Well, there's a new project, a new music project that I recommend highly. It's Kelly Lang's Lullaby Country. I know a lot of people think of Kelly Lang's voice as smoky and sultry, and it is, and there are a lot of sexy songs that she sings, and you might not connect that to a lullaby project. But Kelly was inspired for this project by motherhood, her own.
Strangely enough, I actually wrote and sung Lullaby Country 24 years ago. And I was inspired by my daughter, who was 4 years old at the time. Her name is Peyton, to kind of put all of the things that she loved to music. She loved swinging. She loved farm animals and things like that. So I did that, and it was really cool because 15 years after I wrote it, it ended up in Cracker Barrel for a little while. And now all these years later, I've decided to put it on my own label and offer it to those who like to listen to music via iTunes or streaming or things like that, as well as a hard copy.
Swinging, swinging, swinging so very high. Swinging, swinging, you're swinging right into the sky.
Well, my daughter Peyton, she was quite the inspiration for me recording and writing this music. And it was just such a sweet little time. I was being happy, being at home, raising her, and of course 4 years later I had my daughter Kennedy, and we played this CD like crazy for them, and it was just a nice thing to give for people as gifts as well.
Yes, there's a sweet spirit when you close your eyes. It just surrounds you and can't be disguised. I'm honored to hold such a heavenly thing. You'll never know the joy that you bring.
You know, I have been singing since I was born. And I always had an idea of where my career would take a path, and it's so different than the path that I had originally expected it to take in my head. However, with social media and the unusual following that I have had via social media, it's allowed me to basically be my own record label and my own boss, and so much more liberating than originally planned. I would never have thought that 16 years after I wrote the song "I'm Not Going Anywhere," that Ascension St. Thomas would pick it up for their commercial. And especially at this era in our life that's so unsteady, people need that assurance that, hey, I'm not going anywhere. So that's been beautiful.
I'd give my heart to you if yours stopped beating. Part your lips with mine. If you weren't breathing, you have no burden that I wouldn't bear. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm not going anywhere.
Growing up, I never really had a favorite children's song because I was always surrounded by great classic country music artists, and those were always my favorite songs.
You're a miracle. You're
I love that children's songs do not have an expiration date. I never thought of it like that, but it's so true. I think once you've written a classic, which I hope that somebody might find within my CD, that it can keep living and living. One of my favorite things is that now people are reaching out to me weekly and saying, hey, I was given that CD when I was a little girl, and now I'm going to be a mommy. Is there any way that I could buy that? Which that in itself is what inspired me to re-release Lullaby Country, because it brings back memories for these new mommies, expectant mommies, when they were little kids. And the gift keeps giving and going and going. I never would have suspected that, but it is a beautiful gift indeed.
Counting the sheep up in heaven. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little sheep. 4, 5, 6, and 7. 8 little, 9 little, 10 little sheep. And look, there goes 11. Look, there goes 11. And look, there goes 11.
Well, all songs on this album have a special meaning to me, but the one that sticks out the most to me, that I get the most requests when I perform this, is Lullaby Farm. I think it's because the kids like to act out the sounds of the duck and the cow. It's kind of fun to hear them, and the pig, they oink oink with the pig. But it's just been such a blessing to hear somebody have a different reason behind liking a certain song on this album. And one of the things that I'm really proud about this is I took the liberty of recording the music with the vocal on the first 9 songs. And then the last 9 songs on the album are just instrumental. So a child can sing along with the song that they've learned the lyrics to. So it's not something that you would necessarily do karaoke to or anything, but the children seem to love the ability to be able to learn the songs on their own and have their own spin on the song later. And it's just comforting. I like an instrumental anyway.
Your toy pig will start to oink, 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 oink. Your pig will start to oink, oink, oink on the Lullaby Farm. The Lullaby Farm is a place to go when you close your eyes. When you start to dream, your stuffed toys will begin to come alive on the Lullaby Farm. The Lullaby Farm. The Lullaby Farm.
If I could instill any one thing within this album, it would be that God created everything, including them. They are a miracle. Their mothers are very blessed to have them, and they're very blessed to have their mothers, or their fathers, of course. But one of the songs on the very first song on the album is called "God Did," where a child asks a lot of questions. Mommy, who made the sun and the moon? Who made the stars in the sky? Her answer is God did. God did. And it's undertone of the values that I wish that we could instill in our children even now.
Mommy, who made the sun and the moon, and who made the stars in the sky? Mommy, who made the leaves on the trees, and who made my nose and my eyes? God did, God did, God made all of the beautiful things. God did, God did, everything beautiful, God did.
All of my music can be purchased on kellylang.net and or iTunes or wherever you stream music. The thing I really like about this particular CD, if you were to get the CD, a physical copy of that is the collection of the songs, and the children seem to like going from one song to the next instead of just streaming one song or another. It tends to have like a storyline that goes along with that. And I'm really excited about the future with this Lullaby Country project, because I'm in the works now of putting together 9 books that will make a collection in a box set of Lullaby Country, and each song will be written out in storybook form and illustrated, and if I get real lucky, I may even illustrate the thing. Wish me luck.
For those of you that don't know, illustrating a book isn't a far stretch for Kelly, because not only is she a gifted musical artist, but her paintings and artwork are amazing. Do yourself a favor and deep dive into Kelly Lang music, for kids and for grown-ups too. KellyLang.net, and of course wherever you download or stream music as well. Lullaby Farm is filled with wonderful songs and some sing-along tracks that you're going to love. I'm Devin O'Day, and a big thank you to my friend Kelly Lang for sharing her gift with all of us. I challenge you to not only give this music to a child, but to treat your inner child to the gift as well.
The Lullaby Farm is a place to go when you close your eyes. When you start to dream, your stuffed toys will begin to come alive on the Lullaby Farm. The Lullaby Farm. The Lullaby Farm.
Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll subscribe and follow and share this podcast. Our social media for Main Street Today, Facebook, Instagram, and now Main Street Today even has a YouTube channel. Main Street Today has 12 newspapers in Middle Tennessee, social media pages for each of those papers, and you can follow all things Main Street to know what's happening in your world. I'm Devin O'Day for Main Street Media.